Hi, this is Elle and welcome back to my channel. It's so good to see you. I'm going to be doing the continuation of the top shelf, or the best of the best of what I currently am using. I did my skincare version of this just a couple of weeks ago, and today we are doing the makeup version. So if you want to know more about that, hit the subscribe button, share the video somebody think might like it, and let's do it. So I thought it'd be fun. I haven't seen a ton of people do it this way. I'm actually gonna put on all my top favorites and then list a few other options for you guys. All right. So when we're talking about primers, you know me, I don't have a tendency to use a ton of primers. So when I do, my go-to are the e.l.f. ones, honestly. The poreless putty primer and the matte one is great, and then they have an illuminizing one. Now, the illuminizing one isn't super like illuminizing, but my favorite illuminizing primer is either by Milani or Charlotte Tilbury. Today I'm going to be using more of a kind of, by the way, I'm using just the original putty primer from e.l.f. I am going to be using an oldie but a goodie foundation today, and it's kind of luminous, so I'm not going to be using a luminizing primer. But that is a great way, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about this before, that is a great way to use a matte foundation like the one I just reviewed last week and be able to make it work for people that have skin like me, so which is more of a dry to normal skin type. So honestly, that primer is one of the best primers out there. It is obviously a complete knockoff of Tatcha, but I'm not mad at it. It's these primers are great. So those are the primer selections. Do you see how it just kind of brightens the center of the face too? Love it. All right, so we are going to do my eyes next. Reason being is I want to let the primer set for just a few moments. So let's talk about eyeshadow. So I'm not a big eyeshadow palette girl anymore. I used to be. A couple of years ago, I would like take a certain palette around with me, but nowadays I either use a bronzer or I use cream eyeshadows, which I will show you here in a second, or I usually use like this. This is the Too Faced Kitty Likes to Scratch. It's just like a really overall good palette, so I'll link that below. But that's basically what I use nowadays. Now, when we're talking about primer for our eyes, the one I've always used and have used for years, and again, I don't usually wear a ton of primer on my eyes because they're not super oily and they don't crease, but the Urban Decay Original or the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion is, in my opinion, one of the best out on the market. It'll last you so long. Without further ado, my favorite brands of cream eyeshadows, one was discontinued. The Fenty Beauty used to make beautiful cream eyeshadows, discontinued. Some of the ones from Elle are fine, but honestly, Danessa Myricks, you guys have heard me rave about this. This is definitely top shelf for me. All of the colors are beautiful. This literally I bought a year ago. I barely put a dent in it, and I wear it extremely often. And then we have Nudestix. Theirs are absolutely gorgeous. I love the ones for the eyes, the lips, the cheeks. If you haven't ever tried these from Nudestix, they're amazing. And then the final one I'm going to talk to you about, or that I have talked to you about, is these chalk sticks from Milk. I've done a whole video on how to use these. I wouldn't say they're cream products, but man, they're amazing. And if you've watched that video, you will know how to apply. This is why these last forever. Literally, that's all I'm gonna need. But when you're applying this stick from Milk, you have to apply it with a wet brush. In my opinion, that was the only way that I could really make it work, and it looked gorgeous. So today's look, we're just gonna do a really simple, very traditional eye that I would normally do on a daily basis. And these cream products are so easy to use. They are waterproof, so you need to move quickly. You can't have a lot of time to like mess around with it. So, and I use it on a synthetic brush. And if you have just watched one of my other videos I just put up yesterday, I'm doing the same technique that I taught you guys about It's the video that says it's the ultimate guide with 6 tips for hooded eyes. And that's what I'm doing with this cream product. I'm putting it all over. And then I'm going to go into here and use this kind of bone color as well as this transition shade right here. All right, so there we go on those. Now, if I was to put mascara on and I didn't have my lashes on, I would absolutely recommend Too Faced's Better Than Sex mascara. I've used it for years, and it literally, I forgot to bring it down, I'm sorry, but it's sitting in my bathroom because that's what I use when I don't wear my lashes. Or I use these 3 guys. This one is the brand new one from Lawless. This is called the One and Done Mascara. I like my lashes to look like I almost have lashes on them. This one is great too by Makeup Revolution. It's called the Mascara Revolution. Okay, so let's get in to our foundation. Now, as I'm going through this, I am going to be applying my Kojin Dough foundation. This has been a staple of my life forever and ever. It will never not be top shelf for me. But I want to talk about some newer ones that are kind of newer to us or that I've been using that are newer to me. So the one that I've been using almost on a daily basis, because I don't have a tendency to wear liquid foundation every single day, is this guy. This is the Bareminerals. You can tell that this is almost a year old. I keep all my products in a closet that stays cool and dark so they last a lot longer. But this is the original mineral veil, and I am obsessed and I use it almost every single day. It is so fast, so beautiful. I don't know why I have been sleeping on that for so long, honestly. Like, it is my go-to foundation. And then this other one is when I wear a little bit more fuller coverage is this LYS. It's the Triple Flex. I'm in L96. I have Foundation Fridays on all of these. So if you go to my playlist, you can find my Foundation Friday on literally all of these foundations that I'm talking about. Even this Kojin Dough one, I have tried them, time tested. This Kojin Dough is actually one that when I was, before COVID, doing makeup more, I would carry in my kit because it looks, look at it, I mean, it just looks so fresh and gorgeous on everyone. Okay. Then, of course, we have Elle Makiage. This is a beautiful foundation, one of my favorites. And then if you want a super, super full coverage foundation, the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation is beautiful. But you have to want a higher coverage foundation. And then the last one I'll note is the Dermablend CC Cream Continuous Correction. It's beautiful. So those are more on the higher coverage side of things. So those are for more if you're going out or you just like to have full coverage. Those are the ones that I would recommend that are on the top shelf right now. Okay, concealer. As you can tell, I'm so happy to have Charlotte Tilbury back. This is her Magic Concealer. It is one of the best on the market. Lasts you forever. Love it, love it, love it. But today I'm going to use my other favorite one, which I use on a daily basis when I wear cream products, and this is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. It's the one I talk about all the time. And you hear me talk about it all the time. I love it because it is fuller coverage. You only need a little bit, as you can see right here. And for me personally, I don't get any creasing or anything from it. And it just really looks like beautiful, beautiful skin. All right. I'm feeling more put together as we speak. Okay, so let's talk about creams real quick because I am going to do kind of a full effect today. I'm going to do cream blush and cream bronzer as well as powder. So this one's new for me. This is by Westman Atelier. It's her bronzer. It is so good, so worth it. It's more expensive. Her foundation is gorgeous in this, you guys. If you are sleeping on her foundation and want a little higher end clean foundation, that's one to get. But look at that. I mean, this is made by a makeup artist. This is why her products react this way in the skin. And they are so usable and they do what they're supposed to do. I mean, you guys, it is so perfect and you're done. I mean, get out of here, right? And it will last you forever. Her foundation and her cream blushes are beautiful. In the same category, the reason why I didn't use it because I've talked about it a million times, it's But a Biscuit from Fenty Beauty. We'll go to powders in a second. Now let's go to cream blushes. I'm actually going to use Fenty's cream blush. This is a little bit darker. This is in Summer Wine, and it's a beautiful color, I think, on my skin, and it is just a very well-made product. It still gives you coverage and color, but it's not super aggressive or hard to use, and it just blends so perfectly and doesn't pick up the foundation underneath it, which a lot of cream products pick up the foundation underneath. All right, and you can of course layer this as much as you want. It's totally up to you, but since I'm using a blush, a powder blush, we're gonna leave it at that. Elf, if these are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cream blushes. Beautiful, will last you forever, very pigmented. You almost don't need to wear powder over those ones. Tower 28 cream blushes, you can tell I've used this a ton. I absolutely love, so if you haven't tried any of those, they're gorgeous. All right, so let's set this bad boy with our powder products. Now, of course, you don't have to do this. If you just want to use cream or just powder, that's totally fine. I'm just showing you kind of all of the products that I love and how you can use them together. This is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, the big guy. I just think it's so worth the money because it's so large. Like, how are you ever going to use this within a year? I mean, just like basically every year you'll just need to buy a new one. It's just, yeah, it's great. All right, let's get into blushes. I'm going to sound like a broken record. I'm sorry. But Ecstasy by Charlotte Tilbury blush is the blush I wear, and that everybody on my videos goes, what blush are you wearing? Literally, if you only had one blush in your life, this is what it would be. It is so flattering. It has kind of pink and peach hues in it, so it's very universally flattering, and she has a bunch of different colors, obviously, so you can pick your favorite. I love Lawless's blush. This is matte, and this is in Soft Nectar. If you want more of like a poppier color, this is beautiful. And then you just gotta go with like the staple, which is the Laura Geller Baked Blushes. This is in Tropic Hues, I believe. Tropic Hues. And it is so, so pretty, and it is, for me, a dupe of the Hourglass blushes. All right, we're getting there, party people. So for brows, this is the only brow product I use as we speak. It works very well for me. I absolutely love it. It is the new God, I can't even speak. It is the new brow pencil from Kosas. I just find it to be extremely easy to use. I actually also did a whole review on this as well. If you ever want to know if I've reviewed a product, you just have to go to my profile on YouTube. There's a little search, it looks like a little round icon at the top, and just put in the product name or like eyebrows or like whatever it is, and if I've done it, it will come up. And then I use their clear brow mascara. I used to use Benefits, and I'm just so bummed that they're not cruelty-free, so because I do really miss Gimme Brow and a bunch of their other brow products, but these honestly are just as good. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll. I'm going to set the face just a touch. And this, as you can tell, this has been the powder that I have been using so you can tell that this is the powder that I have been using since this came out. This is the Kosas Cloud Powder. The only thing that's annoying is it has no mirror in it, and that's the only thing I would love for them to change. But I use this just gently under my eyes. I use this to kind of set around where I didn't use like a powder product. And it is it is a baked powder, so it won't ever get kind of like chalky on the skin. It literally is baked, which means that it once was a liquid, they baked it, it turned into a powder, so it's not gonna be overly matte. All right, let's get to lips. Now this is hard for me because I usually just wear like a lip balm. My favorite lip balm is Tatcha's Kissu Lip Mask. I use it as a lip balm. I use it in my studio. I absolutely love it. But that's usually what I wear on an everyday basis, or I wear Charlotte Tilbury's one of her glosses. So, but if I was to wear a lipstick, it's usually either going to be Baby by Lawless, which is a beautiful, beautiful nude. It's not right for everybody, but I pair it with a little bit of a pinker liner. Any liner will do. Honestly, Elle, anybody out there makes a great liner. But if I want more of a punch, I will go with Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. This is a much more universally flattering nude. I mean, look how pretty that lip is. Get out of here. And then the one other gloss that I wear is this one by Urban Decay, and it's called Fuel. And I will sometimes put it over this. And that's usually like my date night lip. This is basically how this is basically my date night look with my top shelf products. And then this will stay on all night. I don't use setting sprays. It's not something that I use all the time. If I was, Pure makes a fantastic setting spray, P-U-R, but I really don't use them. By layering creams with the powders and then setting the face and then creams on the eyes, you really should be good to go. You really shouldn't have a lot of this move. I mean, we have primer, foundation, cream, then powder, you know what I mean? So really this should be enough to have you stay on all night. But this is my top shelf pick of all of my current items that I'm absolutely loving. And let me know if any of these are your favorites. I would love to hear from you. And maybe some of your favorites to share with the others. All right, you guys, thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Bye, loves.